So, Robert, you played on Thanksgiving with the Cowboys. Just tell us what that experience was like, playing on that, special day. Obviously, the spotlight on the Cowboys, spotlight on all the teams that play on Thanksgiving. What was that experience like for you?
It was very cool. It was an awesome experience. I didn't get to eat the turkey leg after the game. I was looking forward to that. But the preparing and the support at the stadium, I mean, the food and everything like that went into it. It was a good experience.
All right, so let's talk about a few of these games. We'll start with the Bears and the Lions. So just going to cover a couple topics for each team, give you the most important fantasy storylines. And for the Lions, Heath, we got Jameson Williams and Sam LaPorta. A lot of fantasy managers don't really know what to do with these guys. You're starting Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're starting the two running backs, Jared Goff, a borderline starter. But when you look at Jameson Williams and you look at LaPorta, can you trust them taking on this Bears defense, which has been pretty good against opposing passing teams?
Yeah, I'm going to view Jameson Williams as a number 3 wide receiver. He has too much upside to sit if you get to start 3 wide receivers, even when there's nobody on a bye and we have all these options available. On any given play, he has the ability to score double-digit fantasy points. LaPorta's a little bit different story. He only has one game this entire season that Jameson Williams has played that he has more than 4 catches. Very touchdown dependent, very big play dependent. And honestly, it's been kind of strange here lately, but tight end's not been bad. We've had some guys emerge as streaming options, Jonnu Smith for one, that I would much rather start over Sam LaPorta. So I'm more comfortable leaving LaPorta on the bench.
All right, so we'll see how these guys operate taking on this Bears defense. Robert, real quick with the Lions before we move on to the Bears. David Montgomery's got this shoulder injury, expected to play. I don't know if you ever had a shoulder injury or not, but any concern with him just, being a little bit banged up on a short week?
I have had a shoulder injury, AC joint injury. You got to put like a little bubble pad on there under your shoulder pads to help sort of alleviate some of that pain. I'm sure that's what David Montgomery is going to do as well. But I wouldn't be concerned. He'll go through the week, going through rehab and things of that nature. He'll be ready for the game.
He was joking around. It's Jared Goff's press availability on Tuesday, so it seems like he's fine. Sonic and Knuckles should be good to go against that Bears defense. Robert, I'll bring the Bears storyline to you here. So we saw a very much improved passing game for the Bears last week against the Vikings. Caleb Williams looked good. All 3 receivers contributed in some facet. Rome Odunze, 20 targets in his last 2 games. Keenan Allen, 23 targets in his last 2 games. DJ Moore just getting a lot of short area passes. Do you like these 3 guys? Do you like Caleb Williams? Cole Kmet had a big game as well, taking on a very good Lions defense that bends but doesn't break against opposing passing teams.
I do like these 3 guys. Now, I'd like to see it again for another game, the consistency there. But like you mentioned, 20 targets the last 2 games for Rome Odunze. It feels like Caleb Williams is sort of developing a nice chemistry with Keenan Allen now. And I think DJ Moore, he's been there really since week 1, but obviously there's been some inconsistencies. But I do like this group, and I do have confidence in this group moving forward.
It is a big headache as someone who is a fantasy football projector or ranker. It's like, it's great for Caleb Williams that he has these 3 guys. For fantasy football purposes, it'd be great if one of them would kind of take a step back. But for now, I'm just viewing them all as number 3 wide receivers. I think in a 2 wide receiver league, you might actually sit them. In a 3 wide receiver league, I would rank them this week, DJ Moore, then Rome Odunze, then Keenan Allen, all somewhere between 24 and 34 in my rankings. I need to see another week from Cole Kmet before I really buy it. So again, he's kind of with Sam LaPorta. I'd rather sit him.
Kmet is facing the number 1 team in fewest fantasy points allowed to opposing tight ends. It's just it is frustrating to figure out really the 2nd and 3rd receiver for Chicago, because DJ Moore you feel the most comfortable with. But in terms of Allen and Odunze, like Pete said, I think we need to see just a little bit more from these guys moving forward. Let's go now to the next game that we have is the Giants and Cowboys, and we have some news here when it comes to the Giants quarterback situation. So Tommy DeVito did not travel with the team to Dallas. They have not ruled him out yet, but it feels like Drew Lock is going to be the starting quarterback. So I'll start with Malik Nabers, and Robert, I'll start with you. Do you trust Malik Nabers with Drew Lock, or really doesn't matter who the quarterback is at this point? Because Daniel Jones' Malik Nabers' numbers with Daniel Jones have clearly started to tail off. Mostly since Andrew Thomas, their left tackle, has gone down. But we didn't see a great game from Tommy DeVito and Nabers last week, and now you got Drew Lock most likely starting against this Cowboys defense.
Yeah, I view Malik Nabers as a wide receiver 3 at best at this particular time, especially with what's going on with the quarterback spot and the organization overall. There's no connectivity right now with the football team, so there's a lack of production there. But it's still Malik Nabers, and he can pop off at any given time given the opportunity. So I see him as wide receiver 3.
It's a tough thing because you look at the target share and the opportunity and really even the catches, and Malik Nabers looks like a number one. He's been a number 3 wide receiver for the last 6 weeks. Adam Aders talked about this a lot. And a big reason why is he scored 0 touchdowns. This Cowboys defense has been better as of late, but we saw it with Terry McLaurin last week. We saw it with Nico Collins on a play that got called back 2 weeks ago. They can still give up a really big play, and Nabers is the type of player that can still make a big play. I'm not so sure that Drew Lock isn't the best passer on the Giants. I just don't know. So I'm still starting Malik Nabers.
I think that's the sentiment most fantasy managers will have, is you're still starting Malik Nabers. Clearly, if you have a loaded roster, like I would start Cortland Sutton and Jacoby Myers over Malik Nabers this week. But you got to be in a really certain situation to have quality receivers. You like their matchups. You like the way they've been playing to bench someone with his talents. Very similar to Tyreek Hill, we'll talk about in a second. But in terms of Tyrone Tracy, Heath, I'll go to you first. Robert, you can follow. 2 bad fumbles the last 2 games. We saw the one in Carolina, costing the game essentially. Another one going in for a touchdown last week. Really wouldn't have mattered against Tampa Bay, but still costly fumbles. Are we concerned about Tyrone Tracy, that maybe Devin Singletary gets his job back or takes a little bit too much work away from Tracy to trust him as this offense is falling apart?
I'm a little bit concerned, but if I wasn't concerned, Tyrone Tracy would be a borderline number 1 running back in this matchup. I would view him as a borderline number 2 this week. He's still somewhere right around RB24. I'd still rather start him than a DeAndre Swift or a Nick Chubb or several other starting running backs. So I'm probably starting Tracy, but not as excited as I was. The problem is, and it's kind of like Nabers, like Tyrone Tracy has really shown an ability to make big plays as a running back. You could have some serious FOMO if you leave him on your bench.
I would say because of where the Giants are right now as it pertains to their season, Tyrone Tracy is still a trustworthy back to have in your starting lineup. Now, had he been playing for the Philadelphia Eagles or a winning team, his job would have been taken by now because 2 fumbles is just unacceptable for a running back. But I think he's going to get another opportunity to be the guy in the backfield moving forward for the Giants. So I'd put him in my starting lineup.
Let's go to the other side of the field here with the Cowboys, and they're coming off a big win for them, taking on the Commanders. And one guy that stood out in that matchup was Rico Dowdle. We heard 2 weeks ago, Mike McCarthy say that he was going to be the lead running back, the featured running back. Now we're trusting CeeDee Lamb. You might need Luke Schoonmaker. Really, in 2 quarterback leagues, you can go with Cooper Rush, but Rico Dowdle's a little bit of a question mark. So, Robert, when you look at Dowdle taking on a Giants defense that just allowed 3 rushing touchdowns to Bucky Irving, Rashad White, and Sean Tucker, they couldn't stop really anything that the run game Tampa Bay threw at them. Is Rico Dowdle a must-start player on Thanksgiving?
No, he's not. No, he's not a must-start player just because there's been too much inconsistency there. I view him a lot of the way that I view Javonte Williams with the Denver Broncos. You just don't know what you're going to get from him week in and week out. Now, if you have an injury or, you got guys on bye weeks, which obviously we don't have any this week, then he obviously can be in your starting lineup. But if you got other backs, I would go with those guys over Rico Dowdle this week.
I've got Dowdle 1 spot behind Tyrone Tracy, so right in that borderline RB2 range. The thing that scares me, and we talked about this on the podcast this morning, is we know what Ezekiel Elliott does on Thanksgiving. He jumps in the Salvation Army kettle, and so I am worried he's the running back who gets into the end zone for the Cowboys today.
It's new season, new blood. Let Rico Dowdle jump in the kettlebell and be the guy for the Cowboys. I think he's going to have a big game. So I actually like him a lot. I do think he's a must-start running back. All right, let's go now to the night game on Thursday night. It's the Dolphins and the Packers. Really, there's a lot at play here with both of these teams because there's a lot to like and there's also a lot to dislike. So we'll start with the Dolphins and their passing game because Devon Achane's a must-start player at this point. So, Heath, when you look at this, Tua Tagovailoa's record in bad weather, whether it's 50 degrees, 40 degrees, 20 degrees, no matter how you break it down, sub 50 degrees, he just has not been good. 1-7 in his career, I believe, 9 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Taking on a Packers defense that's been very good. You talked about that on our podcast, what they've done to quarterbacks at home. Tyreek Hill obviously feels like a must-start wide receiver. Jalen Waddle's coming off a huge game. Jonnu Smith is coming off a huge game. Give me your take on the Dolphins passing game.
So I'm starting Achane. I'm starting Jonnu Smith. He's been that short area target. He's actually been number 1 on the Dolphins, in counting the wide receivers, in total targets since Tua Tagovailoa came back from injury. That's been bad for both Tyreek and for Waddle. I'm not starting Tua in cold weather. And you might think, 26 degrees is not that cold. If you live in South Florida, 26 degrees is really cold. And I actually view Tyreek as more of a borderline number 2, high-end number 3. Waddle's a low-end number 3 wide receiver.
All right, so we'll see if the dink and dunk passing game helps them in the cold weather. But I do like Tua's approach. bring it on. Let's change the narrative. Let's see how he does. Huge game for the Dolphins, huge game for the Packers as well. And Robert, when you look at that side of the field, Josh Jacobs is a must-start player, but the passing game also some question marks because Jordan Love has not been good. 3 of his last 4 games under 20 fantasy points. They may not have Romeo Doubs in the concussion protocol. Jaden Reed has been disappearing a little bit. Christian Watson had a bad drop last week. How do you view the passing game for the Packers taking on the Dolphins, which has been statistically very good against opposing quarterbacks?
Well, I think with the injury to Romeo Doubs, if he doesn't end up playing, that helps out Jaden Reed. We know that Jaden Reed and Jordan Love have a really nice chemistry with one another. And so I think he may be a high-end wide receiver 3 heading into this week against Miami.
All right, we'll see how Green Bay's passing attack does here. We need to see something from Jaden Reed. We need to see something from Christian Watson. You see 3 targets, the bad drop. If he catches that ball after the 150-yard game 2 games ago, we feel a lot different about Watson. But again, the Dolphins have done really well against opposing passing games of late. I do think Tucker Kraft is interesting, hard to trust because he's touchdown dependent, but without Romeo Doubs there, maybe he does have a big game. And we've seen the Dolphins struggle against tight ends recently. Go back 2 weeks ago to Brock Bowers in the huge game that he had. Austin Hooper scored a touchdown against them last week as well. All right, last game we're going to talk about because we're not going to have a show for Friday. So got the Raiders and the Chiefs squaring off in a big, I guess, for the Chiefs at least, AFC West, and I'm all over the place here. They're going to play in the AFC West. They're going to play each other on Friday. So, Heath, we got the Raiders and a questionable backfield here because Alexander Mattison practiced in a limited capacity on Tuesday. Might be able to return this week. Amir Abdullah's coming off a very strong game against Denver. Any interest in one of the running backs here taking on the best run defense from a fantasy perspective with the Kansas City Chiefs?
If Madison needs another week, then I would view Abdullah as a good flex play. They're not going to have success running the ball against the Chiefs. That's not really what Abdullah has done that much. Only had 7 carries in a game when both White and Madison were out anyway. But I do think he can find some success catching the football. And so I do kind of think that even if Madison's back, I might just like Abdullah as my favorite Raiders running back, but none of them would be in the top 36 at that point.
For the Chiefs, Robert, we're going to find out if Isaiah Pacheco returns, so we'll talk about that on our Fantasy Football Today podcast. You read about it on CBSSports.com. What we do know, though, for the passing game, Patrick Mahomes is starting to look like Patrick Mahomes again, but there's no consistency from his pass catchers. You're starting Travis Kelce, but Noah Gray's got 4 touchdowns in his last 2 games. DeAndre Hopkins scored a touchdown last week, but he's been mostly a disappointing fantasy asset since joining the team in the trade from Tennessee. Xavier Worthy's had some good moments, some disappointing moments. Please, young man, keep 2 feet in bounds. How do we feel about the Chiefs pass catchers taking on the Raiders?
Yeah, you're starting Travis Kelce, in my opinion. Noah Gray, potentially as a flex player if you need one. But that's how I view DeAndre Hopkins and Xavier Worthy as well. Wide receiver 3 type players. And I would even throw Juju Smith-Schuster in there sort of as a maybe, just in case he has an explosive game because he has the ability to be able to do that. But all of these guys right now, wide receiver 3 flex players, in my opinion.
100%.
All right, so we'll see what happens there with the Chiefs, and we'll see what happens there with the Raiders as well. All right, real quick before we take a break, it's Thanksgiving coming up tomorrow. I want to see what these guys like in terms of their food options. So we're going to do a quick game of this or that. So I'm going to give you some food options. You're going to tell me which is your favorite, almost like start, bench, and cut. So here we go. First one, this or that. Mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, or stuffing. Heath, you're up first.
This is not a question. Mashed potatoes and gravy get their one whole plate of it. Absolutely love it.
Robert?
Nah, I got to go with stuffing with the cranberry sauce on top, man, all day, every day.
All right, so 1 stuffing, 1 mashed potatoes. I would go mashed potatoes as well. Got to go a little vegetable option here. So we got green beans, we got cream spinach or carrots, and I took the most popular items here, so I'm not just making this up myself. So, Robert, you go first. You got green beans, you got cream spinach or carrots?
Can you see that? That's Popeye, baby. I'm going with cream spinach all day. Let's go.
I'm pretty sure potatoes are vegetables. Can I just have more mashed potatoes? I just like to have some more mashed. No, I'll take carrots if I have to have one of these 3.
All right, carrots for you. I'll go with the spinach as well. Trying to get to as big as Robert one day in my life. All right, so Robert told you he likes cranberry sauce. He said he likes gravy. Now you got to choose cranberry sauce or gravy. Heath, you're up first.
Yeah, I will say, like, my wife is currently cooking some cranberry sauce that we're going to have tomorrow, and it's the best cranberry sauce in America. If it's her cranberry sauce, I'll take that, but if I've got a plate full of mashed potatoes, I need some gravy to put on those taters.
Well, I need some cranberry sauce sent to my house from Mrs. Cummings then, okay? Because I'm cranberry sauce all the time, every year, okay? So, yeah, I need some of that, Heath. I need some of that.
We might have to have a cranberry sauce cook-off. My wife says I think it's the best in America as well. She does some homemade cranberry sauce also. So we might be sending double packages to Robert's house once we're done. All right, last one here. Got to give a little bread option. So biscuit or cornbread? Robert, what do you like better?
I'll go with biscuits. It's more versatile. Put some butter on there. You can do syrup. You can do jelly. I'm going biscuit.
Not really a big bread guy. I'd kind of like to have some more mashed potatoes if I could, please. But I'll take cornbread if I need to.
All right, I'll go cornbread as well. So got a little side dish options for the guys here like for Thanksgiving. Hopefully your meals will be good. We got more coming up on Fantasy Football today, so stay right here.